We start with those brand new numbers just in on the San Jose mayor's race. In the past 20 minutes, the county confirmed City Council member Matt Mahan has widened his lead over County Supervisor Cindy Chavez.
Mahan, a relative political newcomer, now has 52% of the vote compared to Chavez's 48%. KPIX5's Katie Nielsen joins us live from inside the Santa Clara County Registrar's office where they're still counting. Katie.
Yeah, Ryan, that's right. There are so many people that are anxious to get these results, wondering what is taking so long. But what I want to show you, these are just a portion of the unopened ballots, the ballots that still have yet to be counted. So I want to walk you through the process of how this all works. So once those ballots are brought into the registrar's office, they come over here to this area. This is where all of the signatures are verified. So one of the members of this team physically checks each and every signature on the ballot to a signature that they have on file. Once those ballots are verified, then they come over here across the aisle, and this is where all of the ballots are what they call extracted, which basically means that they are opened and flattened so that they can go through some of the counting machines. Those counting machines can actually count 150 ballots per minute, and they have 10 machines running 12 hours a day. Now, as we mentioned with the latest update, Mahan still leading the San Jose mayor's race by about 4,700 votes ahead of opponent Cindy Chavez. If he ends up winning the mayor's race, he is going to be working with fellow city council members who all endorsed Chavez, but he says he's not worried.
I don't hold that against them, right? I mean, my opponent's been in local politics for 25 years, has a lot of relationships that, frankly, I haven't had the time to build. And that's okay. I mean, the council also is turning over quite a bit. We were going to have 4 or 5 new council members in January.
Now, with this latest batch of numbers coming in, the race still too close to call. It still could be another couple of days before we're able to call that race, just because it has been so close, especially since the first batch of numbers came in last night that showed the candidates really neck and neck. Now, coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll show you a little bit more of the vote counting process going on here in Santa Clara County, as well as talk about some of the accusations of dirty politics in the San Jose mayor's race. Live in San Jose, Katie Nielsen, KPIX5.
All right, Katie, thank you so much. We'll be watching. The mayor's race in Oakland is also still up in the air tonight. The latest numbers show Lauren Taylor about 6.5 points ahead of fellow council member Sheng Tao. KPIX5's Wilson Walker joining us live with more on the vote count and really just how easily those numbers can change. Wilson?
We're certainly going to see no public appearances from either of those two leading candidates today. It was very quiet, and that is because we didn't hear anything from the registrar of voters today. Oakland, a little bit like San Francisco, not really processing any new numbers. The last numbers we heard were 1 o'clock in the morning, so we're still pretty much where we left you last night. There is still a lot of work to be done.
It looks like we're going to be in for a long night. Maybe even a long few days until we get the final results of the ballot of the votes that are being counted. But right now, we are ahead.
Speaking very much like a candidate confident in the numbers, Lauren Taylor acknowledged it might take days to resolve Oakland's race for mayor. And that would be something the town has seen before. The first mayoral race to use ranked choice voting was 2010. And that year, Don Parada held about a 10-point lead on election night.
This is the closest, probably, race for mayor in the history of Oakland.
It took a week to count all the votes, and in the end, Jean Quan was toasting a victory. 2014 would be a different story.
This is a campaign that was fueled by love for Oakland.
By comparison, Libby Schaff won in a landslide, declaring victory around 2 a.m. the day after the election. 2022 is going to take at least a couple of days.
I'm going to be up, with butterflies in my stomach just to see the results come in. Again, we ran a great campaign, and I am very optimistic about the results.
So with tens of thousands of votes still to be counted, everyone must wait for more numbers in the coming days. But the early results do have Lauren Taylor talking about the next 4 years.
We are on the verge of something great, and I am eager to roll up sleeves with everyone to make that happen.
All right, it is all about the mathematics now, right? Last numbers we saw have about 35,000 votes having been counted. The Tao campaign in a statement today says they think there's about 71,000 votes uncounted. So you could do the math on the back of the envelope there. There's still plenty of work to go. How is it going to unfold? We will start to see the first fresh round of numbers sometime tomorrow. We are here in Oakland. Wilson Walker, KPIX 5.
All right, thanks, Wilson. You think those mayoral contests are close? Check out what's happening in Santa Clara, where the 49ers have spent millions of dollars trying to unseat incumbent Lisa Gilmore. She just extended her lead over challenger Anthony Becker to 166 votes.
Also a tight race for Santa Clara County Sheriff. According to the new numbers, Bob Johnson has maintained his slight lead over Kevin Jensen.
And California has also weighed in on a variety of propositions.
Okay, so let's look at some of the results. Prop 1 would codify reproductive rights and the right to an abortion in California. Californians approving this proposition by about a 2-to-1 margin. As for that hugely expensive gamble on sports betting, it was a big bust. Prop 26 would have allowed in-person sports betting on tribal lands. Only 30% of voters said yes to that, and it was an even larger defeat for Prop 27. Look at that. This one would have allowed sports betting online and on mobile devices.
And voters slammed the brakes on Proposition 30, an income tax on the wealthy to fund electric cars. About 6 in 10 voters joined Governor Newsom in voting no, and more than 70% voted in favor of Proposition 31, which upholds a ban on the sale of many flavored tobacco products.
Now to a live look at Capitol Hill. Tonight, we still don't know who will control Congress for the next 2 years.
Yeah, CBS reporter Natalie Brand joins us live from Washington. And Natalie, Republicans have made some gains, but they did not pull off what many expected was going to be that red wave.
That's right, Ryan and Sarah. They did not have the sweeping victories that they expected. And President Biden, in remarks this afternoon over at the White House, noted that Democratic candidates had a strong night. But he also acknowledged that Americans are frustrated, especially with the economy. And he said he's prepared to work with Republican colleagues, and even said he would invite congressional leaders over to the White House very soon.
Election workers continue to count ballots in some of the nation's closest races. Democrats are touting a better than expected election night.
It's supposed to be a red wave. You were talking about us losing 30 to 50 seats, and this was going to, that's not going to happen.
That includes John Fetterman. CBS News projects he won Pennsylvania's Senate race in a Democratic pickup. But other key Senate races are still considered toss-ups, including Nevada and Georgia. Election officials in the Peach State say that race will be decided in a December 6th runoff.
Ballots are being built as we speak, and counties are making preparations.
CBS News projects Senate Republican Ron Johnson will hold on to his seat in Wisconsin. The Arizona Senate race leans Democratic, with votes still being counted. CBS News projects the U.S. House is leaning Republican, with some of the most competitive races not yet called.
We will be in the majority, and Nancy Pelosi will be in the minority.
Republicans were expecting a red wave, but that did not materialize, and GOP candidates backed by former President Trump had mixed results.
Quite honestly, people are tired and exhausted from all of the baggage and kind of the cloud that surrounds any type of Trump campaign.
Exit polling revealed Trump mattered more to those voting for Democrats. More than half of Democrats said their vote was to oppose him. He's hinted at announcing a 2024 run next week.
Now, out west, all eyes remain on the state of Nevada, where the Republican Senate candidate has a slight lead over the Democratic incumbent there, but we are still calling this race a toss-up. Votes are still coming in and being counted, especially in the Las Vegas area, and a Clark County election official says that they may not be complete with their counting until next week, maybe Thursday. Ryan, Sarah?
Sounds like we're going to have to wait a little bit, Natalie. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And we'll continue to follow the results as they roll in right here on KPIX 5, streaming on CBS News Bay Area and online at kpix.com.